All right, welcome back, guys. Um, as always, I'm Nolan Akram. This is Jonathan Ellis, and yeah, as a Kansas fan, I'm pretty satisfied today. It was ugly win, but we've seen it all year, so it's not anything new. Not anything new. Um, so yeah, I'm just gonna get into it. So Kansas defeats Samford, 89-93, with the help of every Kansas starter. Um, So every starter for KU had 12 points or more, which is that's just going to have to be a continuing theme for Kansas the rest of this postseason if we even want a shot at even beating Gonzaga Saturday. So yeah, we're going to have to continue that. However, KU had way too many boneheaded turnovers and boneheaded fouls. We had 18 turnovers and 21 fouls. Uh, Too many stupid mistakes. Really let Samford get back into this game. Um, Samford was also super efficient with the basketball as well, which helped them. They only had 7 turnovers to 23 assists. So whenever you're passing the ball like that and scoring, you know, you're going to be able to make at least a comeback. I don't coming back from 22 is difficult, but um, in addition, Samford also had 15 points off turnovers compared to KU 7, so that helps. They also had over double the amount of turnovers or points off turnovers, I should say. Um, I've been talking for a while. You got anything, John, you gonna say?
I was just gonna note a couple things that we were talking about in yesterday's episode, man. Like I said, that is they're gonna be a scrappy team. They were gonna cause some mistakes for KU, force some turnovers, which we did see there. I also said that it was gonna be an interesting matchup seeing Rylan Jones against Dewan Harris. I thought that was a great matchup, and
That
honestly,
was.
I thought Rylan Jones even won that matchup overall. He had more assists. I thought he got his team more involved. Harris, obviously they needed him out there. Without him touching the ball, KU was just turning the ball over pretty much every time. So shout out Dewan Harris for keeping him under composure and keeping him under control. But yeah, dude, this thing, like I said, KJ Adams and Dickinson were going to be the keys to this game. Those guys, because Samford has no size down low besides Chore, who Chore did his thing. He did all he could, but Dickinson and Adams is a two headed beast. That's hard to stop when you got no size down low. So I thought KU did a pretty good job, getting the ball down to them. But just shout out Samford, man, for not giving up when things were looking grim and getting themselves back into this game and making it an interesting one late.
Yeah, man. I mean, you got to give them all the credit in the world. Coming back down 22, they never gave up. A lot of opponents would say, "Oh, screw it, it's Kansas." Why even try? You know what I mean? A lot of schools, I think, would have that mentality, but they said, "Hell nah." We're going to keep playing. But you bring up the two-headed beast within KJ Adams and Hunter Dickinson down low, which is a huge reason why Samford couldn't win that game. They allowed 54 points in the paint. I mean, you're not going to beat Kansas ever if you're going to allow 54 points down low. I don't care which team it is. You could beat Purdue, Arizona. It don't matter. It's not going to be very easy to beat Kansas if you're going to allow that many points down low. And they needed to defend a lot better down low. But like you said, they don't have the size. Shore is probably their biggest player. And he's a forward. He's not even like a true center, obviously, or a big man. So
Yeah, man. Like you were kind of saying. I thought they did pretty good getting the ball down low, getting to the paint. They didn't really Sanford didn't really have much answers for that, but KU did a good job defending like the three ball and everything in the first half there. But they
yeah,
kind of didn't hold that up to them in the second half. I thought Sanford started hitting a lot of those threes, and their perimeter defense just got a little bit worse as the game went on. Um, but yeah, like I said, man, Sanford really good. Chore, Campbell, Allen Speck, and Rylan Jones all had great games for them. Of course, you have the real controversial call at the end with the clean block on Timberlake. They called the foul, but like you said, you can't give up 50 plus points and expect to win. I mean, I know a lot of Sanford fans, a lot of college basketball fans are going to be upset with KU for that instance, but I mean, it was a big call, like I was saying, but you can't blame it all on the one call. It doesn't come down to one call in basketball, but that was a pretty critical miss.
Well, I actually went back after class this morning to just rewatch the last like minute or two of the game. And dude, even after Timberlake got that, I'll call it a bullshit foul. Why not? I don't care. It was a bullshit foul. I would be pissed off if I was a Samford fan, so I feel for them. But you remember that? You remember the play that they drew up after that?
Yeah,
They just jacked it. That was
yeah,
bad. It's like
it was.
it's like you, yeah. It's like come on, you gotta draw up better plays at the end of the game too. If you're Samford, you can't just jack up dumb threes if you want to at least tie the game.
Well,
So
like you said, man, it was a pretty poor play execution out of those free throws. I think that they had plenty of time to move the ball one more time. He kind of forced that up.
yeah,
But the thing is, like, if you don't make that call, they don't have to go for a three. They still didn't have to go for a three, and I think there'd be more chances to extend the game later on. However, Sanford missed a lot of free throws down the stretch too, man. So that's going to be another costly reason that they didn't pull this one off. It's easy to blame a missed call, and especially a critical one like that or a crucial one like that. But missed free throws and shooting the ball poorly most of this game was really the reason that they couldn't get over the hump, man.
yeah, they went 13 for 23, and you got to think, by losing such small margin of victory, um, just some more free throws could have won in the game. Obviously, they had enough attempts, so maybe you got to defend the paint better. You got to make your free throws and maybe don't go down by 22. I think those are the big underlying themes for Samford. If they would have just done one of those things better, I honestly just not going down by 22. Just if they would have gone down by even like 16, 17, whatever, they would have been probably okay and still could have maybe pulled it out of their asses. So I
Well,
think going down by 20 or more against Kansas is obviously just a recipe for a loss, no matter who you are.
yeah, I mean, like I said, you got to respect fans, Samford, for being gritty, not giving up, getting themselves back in this game, climbing through. But like you said, KU just made a lot of dumb mistakes, man. Like DeJuan Harris had a bunch of offensive fouls that were just ridiculous. Like I don't know what he was thinking to pushing off like that.
Marco Jackson, I don't
Yeah,
know
I don't
what
know
he
who
was doing
Jackson.
either.
So many turnovers, man. He was turning the ball over. I mean, Timberlake, he had some iffy plays towards the end there and stuff like that, but like, I got to give a shout out to him too, man. Like, without him, KU's not winning this game straight up. Without his production in this one.
So you think he's a KU's player of the game?
Yeah, I was gonna say it was gonna be Adams or Dickinson, but I honestly would have to say Timberlake with how the game ended and how close it was. Because without like Timberlake was confident in this one, he was shooting with confidence. He wasn't like scared to take control. He was going aggressive at the rim, and that's not something we really see a lot from him. So I'm gonna give it to him, man. Without him, I don't think they were gonna be able to pull this one off. Personally,
You know, I would agree. Yeah, the two guys I'm choosing between is Dickinson and Timberlake. But yeah, Timberlake, that's easily the best performance. I mean, we've said that a couple of different times because he's only had like a handful of good games for us, but this easily his best performance in a Kansas uniform. He stepped up big time. Like you said, he didn't back down at all in the big moment when we needed him to. And he had confidence. And that's what I love to see out of Timberlake. This is like the most confidence I've seen out of him this whole year with this game.
uh-huh.
And Dickinson, oh, I'm sorry. Well, you can talk, bro.
No, I was just gonna quickly say that, like, I think you kind of summed it up pretty nice. Like, he was a guy that needed to step up. Everybody knew Dickinson and Adams were gonna get their points and everything because Samford has no size. Like I said, Dickinson's 7'2", like 265. There's not a lot you can match up with him down there. So he was expected to have a game like that. Timberlake, not so much, man. So that's why I'm gonna give him the player of the game because he really went above and beyond for my standards.
Honestly, I think you can give it to any one of the Kansas starters. I mean, all of them really stepped up when they needed to. Our bench was not even there. Obviously, I think Jackson would have been fine if he didn't have so many dumb turnovers and dumb fouls. Because he had 6 points. He went 3 for 6 from the floor. Had 3 rebounds in the in playing 22 minutes. He would have probably had around 8, 10 points or more if he didn't make so many boneheaded decisions. But he's a freshman, and I'm glad he announced that he's coming back to Kansas. I thought that he was going to transfer, and I'm glad he shut those rumors down because I think he needs to get more playing time. We got to show this guy that we're committed to him long term. But it's going to be hard if Timberlake's going to step up big time like he has. It's going to be kind of hard for Jackson to really, I guess, get into the starting lineup this tournament. But yeah, honestly, who's your notable player for Samford? Who do you think there was the best player?
I mean, like, I'm gonna say there's two guys for me. Like, I mean, Chor obviously had some highlight dunks against Nick Timberlake in that one. A couple powerful slams, especially that one
That
in to cut it to 2 within like a minute or two left in the game. But
was big.
Rylan Jones, despite not scoring more than 9 points, I thought he really played well at the point guard position and really what kept his team in this thing. I think he was like a true leader for that program. I believe that was his last collegiate game of his career. And I think he played his heart out, man. I thought he was like, he was getting banged up out there. We've seen multiple times, like he had tissue in his nose. He was getting hit, like he was on the ground. Man put his heart out. He poured it out there. So I'm gonna have to give it to him. I think he was a big reason that Samford was able to make that comeback.
Yeah, I got to give it to Campbell or Jones because I mean Campbell he was making the most insane 3-point shots no matter what. I mean he went 5 for 9, like I said, making it from anywhere. Achor had a really good game, but he really didn't shoot the greatest. He went 9 for 22 from the floor. He needed to shoot a lot better, I think.
Agreed.
But he was dealing with cramps all game. I don't think he was 100%. I don't know why he was dealing with so many cramps. But did you notice that?
Yeah, it was like every like couple minutes, dude was out like getting stretched out and working with that leg.
It's crazy. It's like how do you cramp up that much? It's like do need some pickle juice.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, no, but it all comes down in March, man. Just like survive in advance, and KU was able to hold them off, able to advance, take it one game at a time. Next one's at Gonzaga. I think they kind of got the same issues Sanford does. They don't really have a whole lot of size in the front and down low. Like they got EK, but he's still only like 6'9", 6'10", and like Gonzaga. Other than that, I don't really think they have like a solid big man to match up with Dickinson. So interesting to see if he's going to be able to work like he was in this game.
yeah, um, as I said on our other show, our our most recent show, I do think that Gonzaga is probably going to win this game. But if Timberlake steps up the way he did, I doubt it. I mean, that was my whole reasoning is because Kevin McCullar's gone, and I didn't think anybody else would be able to step up. But I think we're more than capable of beating Gonzaga if just one guy can step up. It's that simple because I think Dickinson again, he's going to get his own. I think he's going to get buckets and rebounds. But that's all I've been saying though all year with Kansas. It's just one guy, man. Just one other dude to step up in this team can make a decent run. Even without Kev, I still believe we can make a decent run. But as long as obviously Dickinson is healthy, we got to have one of those guys healthy.
Yeah, of
But
course.
just one guy just needs to step up, and we can easily beat Gonzaga.
Well, yeah, man, if Furphy and Timberlake are shooting like they were in this one, I think there's definitely a chance that it'll be a close game down the line again, and have a chance to pull it off. That's the big thing. Those two guys got to shoot the ball well, though.
Yeah, my dad and I were even talking about this. I'm like, whatever Furphy makes his threes, and obviously Timberlake, we just don't lose. It's that simple. Like we haven't lost all year when those guys are on fire. So they just obviously have not been consistent. But yeah, just one of those guys. And DeJuan needs to continue looking to be aggressive on the offensive end as well. I
Yeah,
really liked. He was looking to get his shots off. He was looking to drive. He was actually making little floaters. I know he likes to shoot those shots a lot, and he's been kind of inconsistent with those this year. But yeah, he played with a different kind of confidence. I think, at least shooting wise, that we haven't seen a lot of him or a lot of him this year. So, um, yeah, we just need to keep shooting with confidence and let Dickinson do his thing, and we might be okay. We could probably go to the Sweet 16.
No, I agree 100%. I would say that's the game plan for KU moving forward, man.
Yeah, it's crazy though. It's little things like that we've been saying all year, and no more stupid ass turnovers or fouls. I mean, like notably from El Marco Jackson. I mean, I get it, he's a freshman, but he made way too many of those freshman mistakes. I think coming off the bench, and he's the only one so far that's been providing good minutes off the bench the last month or so for Kansas.
Yeah, I say like my thing. I think Harris got to play more disciplined, man. Like I mean, he didn't really turn the ball over a lot, but like he was committing offensive fouls that were just not smart. You got to know better than that from being a senior point guard. You know, like that's a big thing for him. I think like he's the only true point guard Kansas has. Without him, they don't have a current like efficient offensive flow. So he needs to be smarter than that moving forward.
Oh, and you're right. He's definitely the only true point guard we got on this team. I mean, he El Marco Jackson will sub in for him, and he'll take up the ball whenever DeWan's not in there. But I don't know if he's like a polished point guard yet, at least not at the Division 1 level. So
No.
yeah, he's the only polished point guard we got on this team, and I don't know why. Just too many boneheaded moves. It's like little things that you learn, like in middle school or elementary school basketball, that we just need to get the basics down again, and I think we can be okay. It's just some of that falls on coaching, though. I mean, I don't know. I feel like either you coach that some of that crap or you condone some of that crap. Um, yeah, just too many boneheaded decisions and things the players did, and I think some of that does reflect on the coaching. But if we can eliminate that, we should beat Gonzaga, and hopefully, hopefully they win, and don't mind too much if my bracket's a little ruined.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I feel like everybody's bracket's kind of ruined after yesterday, anyway, man. We still got a whole day of 64 action in another hour or so. So
Yeah, yeah. BYU screwed me, dude. So did Kentucky, though, obviously. Actually, come to think about it, I think those are my only losses. Sorry, never mind, Texas Tech.
yeah,
So I got
I mean,
three. I
like I
got
said,
three
you can
losses.
never predict March, man. It's always beautiful.
Yeah. Um. Well, you got anything else you want to add, Joan, before we wrap up the show?
Not really, man. You know, I think we summed it up. I said, not really, man. I think we summed it up pretty well. You know, KU just looking forward. They just got to survive in advance. That's the big thing about March. You just got to take it one game at a time. They were able to pull that one off, and you just got to keep that mentality. Forget about the last one. Focus on the next one.
Definitely, man. Just on to the next one, and yeah, I don't have anything else I need to talk about or add. Um, until next time, guys. Peace out. See you later, John. Good seeing you, brother.